good? What's good? Time to get into it. Time to get into this. It's real debate right here. Time to get into this real debate right here. Shout out to Thug Life Eternal, Alex Lopez in the building, Black Supernova, LaQuasha in the building, Hang Time K, Thug Belly. Who else in the building? Jay in the building. Let me start playing now, man.
Ain't nothing but a gangsta party.
Ari Spears, exactly what the hell he know. What Ari Spears talking about LaQuasha?
In the same motherfucking place at the same motherfucking time.
What Ari Spears talking about LaQuasha?
Break out the champagne glasses and motherfucking condoms. Have one on us, alright? Ain't nothing but a gangsta party. Picture perfect. I paint a perfect picture upon the hooches with precision. My intentions to get with you with that double OP. Dog, my fucking homie, you cold ass nigga on the mall.
Showing up, I keep my hand on the gun, cause they got me on the run. Now I'm back in the courtroom, waiting on the outcome. Free Tupac is all that's on the niggas' mind. But at the same time, it seems they trying to take mine. So I'm gonna get smart and get the list of this shit and put together a million march for some gangster shit.
Now let me stop for a second. He doesn't listen to Tupac. Ari Spears is corny, man. Like like after what was the reason for him to say that? What was the reason for him to say that? What was the reason for Ari Spears to say? Was this when he was on Willie D or was he on Vlad? Like he just know that Tupac is more relevant than you dead. You know what I mean? While Ari Spears is alive and Tupac still get more play. Nevertheless, two of America's Most Wanted. Now, Daz said, when he came out with this beat, he was going to sell it to a rapper named Drew Down, but Drew Down didn't have the 5 G's for the beat. So it ended up going to Tupac. So Daz said Tupac was already writing lyrics for the song, but then Snoop Dogg walked in on the studio. And then and they put Snoop Dogg on the track. So I'm assuming that Tupac switched his lyrics up because Tupac write fast. Daz Dillinger already said that Tupac writes, he wrote Ambitious of a Rider in 20 minutes. So when he had Two of America's Most Wanted and he was getting busy on that and Snoop Dogg walks in the process of Tupac writing, and then they probably came up with the idea, won't y'all collaborate? Then Tupac probably balled up that paper that he had or whatever, or maybe switched that shit over and boom, threw that shit in the trash and started fresh. Because he immediately shouts out Snoop Dogg name in the beginning. Now, this is all done in October of 1995. So when you got Two of America's Most Wanted, you got two of the biggest rappers in the game at that time. Actually, this dropped in 96. But in 95, when they was recording it, you know what I mean? It's them two. So they going back and forth process. And the reason why I chose Brooklyn's Finest, because Brooklyn's Finest is a song by Jay-Z and Biggie, which is a back and forth process. And I have to assume that Brooklyn's Finest was made in 96. And it wasn't a Jay-Z and Biggie song. It was just a Jay-Z song. And then when Big heard it, he wanted to get on. So Clark Kent made it possible for Big to get on, and it took Biggie some time. It didn't take him like 20 minutes like Tupac. It took him some time. Like I think he said months or something. I did a video on this. I think it said a couple of months or whatever. You know what I mean? Then they came back and then they did that split, and Biggie started, adding on where Jay was leading off. So that's how they meshed that song together. But I'm assuming, and I'm not trying to reach, but I'm assuming that when they did the joint, Tupac got the double album out, All Eyes on Me. And I'm assuming that everybody else was listening to what Tupac had, especially when you just got shot up. And now you out here, you got your new album out. Let's see what this dude is working with right now. Because he just had Dear Mama. He just had all these hits. He was #1. Now let's see what this dude got when he's, fresh out of prison. So subconsciously, I feel like Biggie, Jay-Z, and Clark Kent, they made Brooklyn's Finest as almost, I don't want to say a response, because I don't want to be reaching here. But I would say like they was influenced or inspired by Tupac and Snoop Dogg, looking at themselves. Jay-Z and Big probably was looking at themselves as two of the biggest rappers in New York, even though Biggie was bigger at the time. But Jay-Z was looking at himself like that. And I really feel like a lot of dudes was following the blueprint of All Eyes on Me. That's just my opinion though. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, let's get into it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But we going to listen to that first verse. And then I'm going to play the first verse of Brooklyn's Finest. Let's get into it.
You put two of America's most wanted in the same motherfucking place at the same motherfucking time. Y'all niggas about to feel this. Break out the champagne glasses and motherfucking condoms. Have one on us, alright? Picture perfect. I paint a perfect picture upon the hooches with precision. My intentions to get richer with that double OP. Dog, my fucking homie, you the cold ass nigga on the mall.
Showing up, I keep my hand on my gun, cause they got me on the run. Now I'm back in the courtroom, waiting on the outcome. Free Tupac is all that's on the niggas' mind. But at the same time, it seems they trying to take mine. So I'ma get smart and get the best of this shit, and put together a million march for some gangster shit.
So now they got a place. 2 multi-millionaire motherfuckers catching cases.
Bitches get ready for the throwdown. The shit's about to go down. Me and Snoop about to climb. I'm losing my religion. I'm vicious on these smooth bitches. You might be deep in this game, but you got the rules missing. Niggas be acting like you savage. They out to get the cabbage. I got nothing but love for my niggas living life.
I got a kid named P, she niggerina. I got a house out in the hills, right next to Chino. And I think I got a black Beamer, but my dream is to own a fly casino like Bugsy Siegel. Can do it all illegal and get scooped up by the little homie in the Riga. It feel good to you, baby bubba. You see, this is for the G's and the keys, motherfucker.
Now follow as we ride, motherfucker. Rap two of the best from the west side, and I can make you famous. Niggas be down for years, so how can they blame us? I live in fear of a felony. I never stop belling me, motherfucking G's. If you got it, better blow it. Another woman, two of Amerikaz most wanted.
Now let's listen to the first verse of Brooklyn's Finest.
Reloaded.
Hopefully
You
that shit loud.
motherfuckers think you big time? Fucking with Jay-Z, you gonna die big time. Here come the pain.
Jigga, bigger, nigga, how you figure?
Yeah. And yo, peep the style and the way the cop sweater. The #1 question is, can the feds get us? I got vendettas and dice games against ass betters and niggas who pump wheels and drive jettas. Take that with you.
Picture, back split up. Fuck fist fights and lame scuffles. Pillowcase to your face, make the shell muffle. Shoot your daughter in the calf muscle. Fuck a tussle, nickel plated. Sprinkle coke on the floor, make it drug related. Most hated,
Campaigning while y'all punk Billy, I run up and stunt silly. Scared so you sent your little mans to come kill me. But on the contrary, I passed the Mac Millie, squeeze off on them. Left the paramedics breathing soft on them. What's your name?
who shot your mouth?
Black Supernova, I agree.
Peruvians trying to do me in. I ain't paid them yet. Trying to push 700s, they ain't made them yet. Rolex and bracelets, frostbit. Rings too, niggas round the way, call me igloo. Stick
Now I gotta say this. Now listen to like Black Supernova. You know, I was thinking the same thing. It is, you know, when like for some reason, like you know, when Biggie says shoot your daughter in the calf muscle, Fuck a tussle, make a sprinkle coke on the floor, make a drug related, most hated. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of people like that drug talk. A lot of people like that drug talk. They like them drug bars. And, you know, and what did Jay-Z say? Peep the style and the way the cops fed us. The number one question is, can the feds get us? I got vendettas against ass betters and niggas that rode jettas and some shit. You know, they was spitting. And but if you just listen to like the dynamic is, in my opinion, is very similar to the way Tupac and Snoop Dogg did they shit. But I agree with Black Supernova when he says, you know, as far as the content, you know what I mean? As far as the content, I don't, whereas with Tupac and Snoop Dogg, the shit that they saying, you like, and Tupac, let's keep it real. Like Snoop Dogg, I like Snoop Dogg. And Snoop Dogg can definitely rap. And he did his thing on this one. Snoop Dogg was flowing. But on a lyrical level, I gotta give it to Tupac. Tupac really held this shit down on this fucking song. When he comes on saying, "Now picture perfect, I paint a perfect picture, bombing hoochies with precision." My intentions to get richer with the S and double OP. Dog, my fucking homie. Ain't it cold how we floss on these hogs? Like, he was spitting on that shit, the way he was flowing. And Tupac could have did that shit himself. So it's like, and he did this shit in 95, and I gotta assume that Tupac did this in record time. Like, he did it real quick. And he probably had to wait for Snoop to write his bars. But I don't think Snoop is that incapable of writing fast. I think Snoop can write fast, you know what I mean? You know, I think he could, because when you listen to his rhymes, his rhyme style sounds a little bit old school. When Snoop goes like, cuz, blood, gang banging, everybody in the doing dope slinging, you got to have paper. Like, it don't seem too difficult for Snoop Dogg to put that shit on paper like that, but it just seems like it seems like Tupac was, in my opinion, definitely lyrically carried the weight on two of America's Most Wanted, although Snoop Dogg did amazingly well on the collaboration tip. And whereas with Biggie and Jay-Z, their styles is what they was spitting, they both was spitting that old, you know, top of the line flossing type shit, drug talk type shit. And they both was making sure that they had bars. So it was like both of them. It wasn't like Jay-Z was holding Biggie down or Biggie was holding Jay-Z down. It was like they was going neck to neck. But don't forget that it took Biggie some time to write that shit. You know what I mean? Joseph Strawhorn in the building. Salute. Tupac and Snoop freestyle, if there's a cure, shows their freestyle talent. Pac definitely much better. Yeah, that's definitely true. Our community's more obsessed with the drug talk. All right, Tupac tried to push more revolutionary rapping, had to change his flow because the market was pushing more gangster rapping. You know what I mean? What does it say? Thug Life says, "Love the Dough" was better than Brooklyn's Finest. You think so? I was listening to, me and my cousin listened to Love the Dough the other day, and it ain't better, in my opinion. It ain't better than Brooklyn's Finest. It's not. You know what I mean? It's a couple notches down. It's a couple notches down because it was radio friendly. You know what I mean? They did that old what Puff Daddy wanted them to do. You know what I'm saying? So they rhymed on it. Whereas it probably should have been on some hardcore shit. It probably been on some hardcore shit. Don't get me wrong, the song is classic. The shit is fire. But in my opinion, I don't think it's better than Brooklyn's Finest. Now let's go back to the second verse of Tupac and them.
No, like Bugsy Siegel can do what I'm.
If you got a better floor, another bump, two of America's Most Wanted.
Better beat on dope for sure. Yeah, the beat, Easy Mo beat did his thing. Now speaking of beats, I gotta say that Clark Kent, and even though I don't really rock with Clark Kent, I don't rock with Clark Kent at all, but as far as a producer, he did his thing on I Love the Dough, on that beat. The way he sampled it and stuff like that, it was dope. But on some real shit, that production is not fucking with two of America's Most Wanted. This is really, it got that. I don't know. Maybe it's a West Coast thing or whatever. You see the hat, you know what I mean? Maybe it's a West Coast thing, or but Daz is just a dope producer. Like Eric Sermon, I was listening to an interview, and Eric Sermon from EPMD, who produced Redman, Method Man, and tons of other people, he was just like, yo, a lot of people sleep on Daz. A lot of people sleep on Daz, and Daz gave Tupac some of his, his biggest hits. You know what I mean? Some of his biggest hits. But Brooklyn's Finest beat, in my opinion, as fire as it is, I just don't think it's messing with this. Like Tupac was just flowing on this shit, bro. He was just flowing on this shit, man. He was spitting on that, bro. Like the way he was flowing. Underrated. When people say Tupac ain't lyrical, like this shit is like, this is Tupac holding this shit down by himself. If Snoop Dogg wasn't on this track, it's just a dope ass collaboration. But I would love to hear Tupac just doing this shit in its entirety. You know what I mean? I would love to hear Tupac just spitting on this track by himself, but it didn't happen that way. So Snoop Dogg is on it, and the collaboration worked out very well. But the way this is a dude, like this is what I gotta emphasize on, man. This is a dude who came straight out of prison, bro, right into the studio, and everybody said he recorded his verses in 2 weeks, in the month of October of 1995. The album didn't drop until February 1996. So Reasonable Doubt didn't drop to June 25th, 1996. And when Tupac started dissing Jay-Z, I heard Hit 'Em Up before it was on the B side of How Do You Want It. So that goes to show you that Tupac, somebody had bought the somebody had bought the demo version or whatever to Tupac's attention that, yo, Biggie has aligned himself with Jay-Z or whatever and dissed you. You know what I mean? Even though we ain't even get to that bar yet. I don't even want to talk about that bar yet. But Tupac heard that initially, and that's why he started bombing on Jay-Z. You know what I mean? And two of America's Most Wanted was already created. So as biased as this may sound, I'm just going to come to the conclusion right now and tell you that Brooklyn's Finest is a dope song. But due to the fact that it came out months after Tupac did Two of America's Most Wanted. Now, officially, Two of America's Most Wanted was released in February of 1996. But originally, it was recorded in October of 1995. So that means November, December, January, February. So like approximately 4 months later, they dropped that album. Tupac dropped All Eyes on Me. And then everybody hears that shit. And I'm sure people heard Two of America's Most Wanted. And it was just like, yo, this shit fire. And then on top of that, the video. I can't tell you exactly when the video dropped. But how they was dissing Biggie in the video, Biggie and Puffy. So as biased as this may sound, man, and this is a clear giveaway. You see my hat, it say LA. I'm a New York nigga, but it say LA. As biased as I may sound, you know what I mean? I gotta give it to Two of America's Most Wanted just on the strength that it came out before that. Now, that's not trying to say that there wasn't no songs in hip-hop history that wasn't duets like EPMD or Run DMC or Redman and Method Man or or Raekwon and Ghostface. Like, this shit been in hip hop forever, like Nas and AZ. But for this particular live stream right here, the category or the topic is two of America's Most Wanted versus Brooklyn's Finest. And I just got to say straight off the bat, I got to give it to two of America's Most Wanted. I do. And I got to give it to Tupac for the way he lyrically held it down, and as opposed to the shit that Jay-Z and Biggie was spitting. Like, they gonna get me wrong, they got bars. They was like battle rappers to me. You know what I'm saying? They like battle rappers to me. Like, them battle rappers talk all this gun shit. Like, I shoot you this way, I sold drugs that way and sold drugs this way, I done did this and did that. You don't believe these niggas. You know what I mean? I don't believe them niggas. But I believe Tupac. When Tupac says they wonder how I live with 5 shots. Niggas is hard to kill on my block. Like, everything Tupac says is like a fucking movie. It's almost like a myth if you ain't know this man actually lived that shit. Now let's get back to this.
Blood, gang banging, everybody in the party doing dope slanging. You got
The whole meaning of it, doing this song
your
is
money,
stronger
get
than
your first
Brooklyn's
snatch before your eyes swirl. You're doing your job every day. You need to work so hard till your hair turn gray. Let me tell you about life.
Oh,
about
shit.
the way it is. You see, we live by the gun, so we die by the.
Yo, Brotherhood, don't go nowhere. Stay right there. Stay right there. You're going to make this interesting. You said, Brotherhood says, even though Biggie and Jay-Z were overall lyrically better than Pac, Pac showed them how to flow effortlessly. You gotta, oh man, I wish I could talk to you verbally right now, Brotherhood. The Brotherhood. Are you still in the building, the Brotherhood? Are you still in the building? Yeah, Alex. Alex Pazmino. I responded to that, brother. I responded to your email. Now let's go back to this Brooklyn's Finest.
No more Mr. Nice Guy, Twitch. Jay-Z and Biggie Smalls, nigga, shit you draw. Where you from?
Degenerate in the building.
Crown Heights. You don't stop. Brownsville. You won't stop. Nigga.
Jay-Z and Biggie Smalls, nigga, shit you draw.
Where we from?
Going out to all.
Bushwick.
You don't stop.
Fort Greene.
You won't stop.
Niggas.
Yeah.
From Not 6.
The only MC with a flu. Yeah, I rhyme sick. I be what you're trying to do. Made a fortune off Peru. Extradite, China white, hair on. Nigga, please, like short sleeves, I bear wrong. Stay out away from here wrong. Gone.
Me and Gunna had 2 spots. The 2 for $5 hits, the blue tops. Gotta go, Julio, mean it's getting too hot.
If they had twins, she probably had 2 pops. Get it?
Time to separate the pros from the cons, the platinum from the bronze, that butter soft shit from that leather on the fawns, a S1 diamond from my I-class dome, a Chardon sipper from a rosé,
Nigga, huh? Brook, no.
sipping on.
Crystal forever. Play the crib when it's Mayweather. The mafia keep cannons in they mop Buchanan.
Salute to Zachary.
Your think over the shell, sink slow, tossing up. Mad slugs through your Nautica.
I'm warning ya.
Jay-Z and Biggie Smalls, nigga, shit you draw.
Now, I got to respond to, what's your name? The Brotherhood. He says, even though Biggie and Jay-Z were overall lyrically better than Pac, Pac showed them how to flow effortlessly. See, now, I'm a be calm, because if I start speaking with passion, I start sounding like I'm angry like Dame Dash. So I already did a video based on that. When people say Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac, and you can watch my video, whereas I displayed where Jay-Z was trying to I did it like this. Jay-Z did songs. I made a verses between Jay-Z and Tupac when Jay-Z was actually active in hip-hop game. So like in 1990, Jay-Z had a verse from, was it 1990? 91? But anyway, Jay-Z wasn't really active like that. You know, he was hustling. You know, he ain't really get back into the grind of hip hop until like late 94, 95, when he really got back into it. And by that time, Tupac was just doing him. You know what I mean? And Tupac was displaying how lyrical he was. So it's like when people say Jay-Z was lyrically better than Tupac, the only way I can respond to that is like, yo, Reasonable Doubt came out after All Eyes on Me. But lyrically, Me Against the World is the album where you really supposed to pay attention to Tupac lyrically, because that's when Tupac was real lyrical. So when people say that Jay-Z, although Jay-Z and Biggie were lyrically better than Jay-Z, it's like, what are we talking about? Because how can you overlook Me Against the World? And then how can you overlook how nice Tupac was when he came home from prison and he recorded a double album in 2 weeks? How can that be overlooked? Somebody let me know if my video was lagging. Somebody let me know if my video lagging, because I ain't going to be on here too much longer.
Out of there.
Somebody let me know if my video was lagging. But this is, see, these be the kind of conversations I be wanting to have with people. You know what I mean? The brotherhood left, but I feel like I explained myself very well. Don't get me wrong. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But when a person says, even though Biggie and Jay-Z were overall lyrically better than Pac, you got to explain to me, how did you come to that conclusion? Like, real talk. Like, how did you come to that conclusion? Because I be feeling like people are basing that on not knowing Tupac's catalog, and also it could be a certain level of New York bias as well. But when you comparing that, so if you was to compare Ready to Die and Me Against the World, Ready to Die is a fantastic album. But if you was to really compare that on some lyrical shit, a person just can't easily come out and say Biggie is better than Tupac lyrically. Because then I'm like, yo, so If I Die Tonight, Me Against the World, Heavy in the Game, what's the other one? It Ain't Easy, Fuck the World, Lord Knows, So Many Tears. It's like, do these even get talked about? Or do you think every song on Ready to Die is just better than anything Tupac made? Content-wise, you can't even line those shits up. So the conversation has got to be logic in that conversation. You can't even mesh those two. You can't even mesh those albums together. Only certain songs. Only certain songs. So you can't even just come out. So, and then when you say Jay-Z is overall lyrically better than Tupac, it's like how did you come to that conclusion? From what songs? Like In My Lifetime? What's the other one? What's the other one Jay-Z made before he dropped Reasonable Doubt? In My Lifetime and I Can't Get With That. So I got a victim to something and then I hit him like this. Like, the content is different, the flow is different, and these are New York MCs. So all that shit is different. So a person can't really say that shit, bro, and then say Tupac showed them how to flow, because they all can flow. They all got their unique flow. Jay-Z got a unique flow, Biggie got a unique flow, and Tupac got a unique flow. And then to just say that they overall are lyrically better than Tupac, I can't. Because somebody got to logically explain to me, how is that possible, bro? And then if you try to say, look what Biggie did in 1995, then I'll be like, well, Tupac the majority of 1995, Tupac was in prison. You know what I'm saying? In the majority of 1995, Tupac was in prison. He went to prison, what, in December, right? Then he came home in October. He went, December of 1994 is when he went to prison. And then he came home in October of 1995. So yeah, if Biggie is going to elevate, you know what I mean? They're going to get on, Biggie is going to elevate and do a tremendous amount of work, especially in the year in 1995. Jay-Z wasn't thought about in 1995, only by the local people of Brooklyn. And that song would probably be I Can't Get With That and In My Lifetime. And then Reasonable Doubt drops 4 months later after All Eyes on Me. So somebody has to explain to me logically how you feel, at least Jay-Z. At least Jay-Z. Somebody got to explain to me how you feel Jay-Z is a better lyricist than Tupac when Jay-Z actually debuted it 4 months after Tupac's, I guess we could say, 5th album, if you want to include Thug Life, you know what I mean? But 4th or 5th album with All Eyes on Me. So therefore, that conversation, like, logically, it makes no sense to me. But don't get me wrong, Jay-Z is a dope-ass lyricist. But when people say those kind of shits, these kind of conversations are not being held. For real, for real. Like I said, after Tupac died, Jay-Z got bigger. Me Against the World was #1 album in the country while he was in prison. Thug Life Eternal says, Blasphemy is one of the greatest lyrical songs ever. And as much as I like Blasphemy, I like Hold Your Head. Hold Your Head is arguably my favorite song on Machiavelli. Now, when you talk about the lyricism and the way Tupac was rhyming and the execution of the production, go back and listen to Hold Your Head and listen to how, like, Tupac was really, really rapping, bro. Then he said, watching time pass through the rolls, through the, what'd he say? Watching time pass through the drop top of my rolls. Like, I be messing that line up, but that shit was just fire, bro. That shit was just fire, man. Zachariah said, were there any songs Pac recorded during the period of time of between 93 and 94 you think he should have been on the album? Yeah, he recorded Me Against the World in 93 and 94. And then he re-recorded it in 94, late 94, because he felt like Ready to Die sounded too much like his album, so he did it over. DeMarcus says Pac verse on Niggas Done Changed, lyrical masterpiece. Yeah, that's true. And I ain't even trying to be biased, man. This video probably didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. I might have to do an actual upload, an actual production of this particular video and not doing it live. But I definitely got to give two of America's Most Wanted over Brooklyn's Finest. Just due to the fact of Tupac holding it down lyrically. I preferred his content more. I preferred the production more in this. And Biggie had time to master and because Biggie was basically competing with Jay-Z on this song. So that's why the drug talk got even, was escalated, was on that Brooklyn's Finest. Like the drug talk on Brooklyn's Finest was elevated to the next level.
Okay, I'm reloaded. You motherfuckers think you big time? Fucking with Jay-Z, you gonna die big time. Here come the pain.
Dylan says, I think the bars Tupac had on same song with Digital Underground was his first manifestation. Now listen to what they saying. Listen to Biggie and Jay-Z. It's all drug talk. Listen.
the way the cops sweat us. The number one question is, can the feds get us? I got vendettas and death games against gas betters and niggas who pump wheels and drive jettas. Take that with you.
Hit ya, back split ya. Fuck fist fights and lame scuffles. Pillowcase to your face, make the shell muffle. Shoot your daughter in the calf muscle. Fuck a tussle, nickel plated. Sprinkle coke on the floor, make it drug related. Most hated, painted.
Now, see, when people hear that, you know, fuck fist fighting, lame scuffles, you know, pillow over your face so the sound muffle, shoot your daughter in the calf muscle. Like, niggas like that shit. That's some real violent shit. You know, those are violent bars. What Biggie is saying is some real violent bars. Jay-Z's bars are not as violent as Biggie's bars is. Biggie was heavy on the violent. Oh, and then I got to go back to this America's Most Wanted. I got to go back and display something real quick. But let's just finish hearing this out, and then I got to go back to that second verse of Tupac. I got to go back. Let's just finish listening to it and just listen to the drug talk and how violent it is.
Oh, y'all punk, really, I run up and stunt silly. Scared, so you sent your little mans to come kill me. But on the contrary, I packed the Mac Millie, squeezed off on them, left the paramedics breathing soft on them. What's your name?
Who shot your mouth times like some?
Then you wonder if Jay-Z is being real. Like he said, I squeezed off on him, left the paramedics breathing soft on him. Like, although it might be fabricated, but it's fire. It's fire the way they putting that shit together.
Peruvians trying to do me in. I ain't paid them yet. Trying to push 700s, they ain't made them yet. Rolex and bracelets, frostbit. Rings too, niggas riding away, call me igloo. Sticks.
Like, I can't front. Like, they really went in on that shit. You know what I mean? They really went in on that shit. But it was like, it was drug talk. And when niggas hear the drug talk, Tupac ain't do a lot of drug talk. So that's why if you look at the climate of especially American society, drugs is flooding the streets with dope dealers and dope fiends, pharmaceutical motherfuckers. Drugs is flooding the society. So a lot more people will relate to that shit. Overall, Tupac shit, Tupac became who he became. Like Tretch said on Art of Dialogue recently, it was like the Tupac that you got was a changed man. That dude was angry. So, because I've been saying that for a long time. And Tretch said the same thing I've been saying. Because it's kind of writ large, which means obvious. When Tupac got accused of rape by a black woman, and then when he got shot up by his own people, and he made songs defending them and trying to get them together, and then he goes to prison, and then he hears his closest friends talking crap about him, and you know what I mean, and then he's in he was trying to save his people from the system that incarcerated him from touching the girl's buttocks. So when he comes out of prison, yeah, that's a changed man, bro. That dude said prison ain't changed me, it made me worse. It made me worse, bro. Jay said, yup, Tupac barely talked drug talk like Biggie and Jay-Z. Yes, and you know, I don't want to say that's cool and shit like that. I listen to, I'm not a drug dealer, but I listen to the skills of MCs, everybody. But I listen to the skills of Biggie and Jay-Z, and they eloquently do talk that drug talk. They articulate that shit very well. I can't front. I can't front. So it's like their content versus Tupac content. How can you say that either one is you know, how can you say that Jay-Z and Biggie are lyrically better than Tupac when their content is really, damn, bro, on some dumbed down shit, so to speak. Niggas are going to, niggas in the hood, they're going to cater to the drug talk. They're going to cater to the hustle talk. They're going to gravitate to the hustle talk, man, the drug talk. They're going to gravitate to that. A lot of them ain't going to gravitate to what Tupac was talking about. At that time, at that point in time, man, it was all street talk, bro. It was all street talk. And Tupac didn't talk that drug talk as much as them. But there's one part right here I got to show. Let me see.
That give me 50 feet. The beat is not my destiny. Release me to the streets and keep whatever's left of me. Jealousy is misery. Suffering is greed.
Drug dealers love Tupac. That's a fact.
You thought it was when it wasn't. Now disappears. Bow down in the presence of a boss player.
Blood, gang banging, everybody in the party doing dope slanging. You gotta have papers in this world. You might get your first snatch before your eyes swirl. You're doing your job.
That's a fact, Thug Life.
You need to work so hard till your hair turn gray. Let me tell you about life and about the way it is. You see, we live by the gun, so we die by the
Tell me not to
keys.
roll with my Glock. So now I got those waves floating in the black beard. Trying to do shit all day. They wonder how I live with 5 shots. Niggas is hard to kill on my block. Schemes for currency is no related. Affiliated with the hustlers, so we made it. So answer the question, I'm trying to get it broke. My nigga dog me. Eternally the most broke.
Nah, that's not the part.
Souped up by the little homie in the rigger. It feel good to you, baby bubba. You see, this is for the G's and the keys, motherfucker.
Now follow as we ride. Motherfucker, rap two of the best from the west side. And I can make you famous. Niggas been down for years. So how can they blame us? I live in fear of a felony. I never stop felony. Motherfucking G's. If you got a better flow.
Nope.
Savage, they out to get the
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
rules missing. Niggas be acting like you savage. They out to get the cabbage. I got nothing but love for my niggas living life.
That part right there. That part right there. I was listening to it, and I was like, God damn. And that's the new lingo nowadays. That's the new lingo. This particular word I'm about to say, that's the new lingo nowadays, because nobody was really saying that shit in 1996. When Tupac said, niggas be acting like they savage. They out to get the cabbage. I got nothing but love for my niggas living lavish. The key word, savage. There wasn't nobody saying that shit back then. Yeah, it's only one word, and there was mad rappers back then. But as far as my recollection, there wasn't nobody really saying that shit, bro. That word, savage. And to hear Tupac saying that shit, niggas be acting like they savage. You know what I mean? Whoever he was referring to. But Tupac was like, but what do they say now when you look at, I can Google this shit in right now. Look at this shit. Let me see. Let me see. Come on. Come on. Tupac savage moments. But all that shit comes up. All that shit comes up. But anyway, you know, shit. That's the term that motherfuckers use. Savage. And Tupac said niggas be acting like they savage. They out to get the cabbage. I got nothing but love for my niggas living lavish. But it's just the way he even put that shit together, man. Niggas don't give Tupac credit. They don't give Tupac credit, man. Levance Jackson says, Ox says, except KRS-One. I wonder why you say that. I just listened to every Pac album from front to back within the last month. He's still talked about as the greatest for a reason. No one was or is fucking with him till today. Best to ever do it, except for KRS-One. Oh, KRS-One is in my top 5. KRS-One is in my top 5. You know, I really rock with him. Levance Jackson says, Jay-Z and Biggie never really said too much of anything else other than money, hoes, and clothes, versus Tupac getting at you on any subject matter and on any level, no doubt. And that's another thing, like, that's a good point, Levance, because they make it seem like due to Tupac's content, some people don't want to hear that. It's almost like the character from Menace to Society, Sharif. And they was like, well, nobody want to hear that. What'd he say? Nobody want to hear that shit, Sharif. You know what I mean? I remember like when Nas made Black Girl Lost, and the girls was like dissing Nas, saying like, what's up with Nas or whatever. Like, oh, he in there talking that back to Africa shit. That's a lot of our people. And that's when Jay-Z came at Nas and he said, yo, he said, you're garbage. What you trying to kick? Knowledge? You know what I mean? And then Nas responded to that shit. It's like, nah, I'm trying to kick the shit you need to know. You learned that you need to learn though. That ether, that shit that make your soul burn slow. Like, it's a lot of niggas that don't like knowledge itself. There's a lot of people that don't like education, man. So that drug talk, and not trying to shit on niggas, but that drug talk is the simpler way of taking it. But like people say, man, from school, public school to the prison pipeline, and certain people talked about this is the kind of music that they wanted out there. So they say we make great music. We make great music. We are great entertainers. We are great athletes. We are great artists. But when it comes to business, we don't handle that shit right. So we make that kind of content, and other people that are not black, they make millions to billions of dollars off that shit. Like Leor Cohen, for instance, when Leor was like, "Yo, my kids got to eat too," type shit. You know what I mean? So they'll put that shit out there, the drug talk, like niggas like Future and 50 Cent, like 50 Cent. That nigga don't smoke or drink. He don't smoke or drink, but every fucking post he puts up about Diddy or whoever, at the end of it, he got a hashtag saying, what is it, Branson Cognac? You know what I mean? Like, he's always promoting his liquor, but he don't even drink. Future always talking that drug shit and all that. He don't even do that shit, bro. It'd be a lot, you know, back in the days, it was a lot of niggas talking that drug talk, and they ain't even lived that shit, man. You talking about them other niggas' lives. Ox said, of course he's not on Pac's level. I just meant he used the word savage in the songs too. KRS-One is not fucking with Tupac, no disrespect. Oh man, Jamel Smith, bro. Oh shit, bro. Oh shit. Harold Mitchell said Pac was a huge fan, KRS-One fan. KRS remembers when Pac first met him. Pac was so excited he kept saying, "You're KRS-One, you're KRS-One." Bro, like, oh man, see this is when people on this channel, y'all gotta either love me or you gotta either hate me, because I gotta keep it real, bro. Now, even when Tupac was doing this thing, KRS-One was doing his thing at the same time, man. At the same time, bro. Tupac died in 1996. KRS-One actually had KRS-One actually had his last biggest hit in 1997. And ironically, he got a lot of flack from it because it was produced by Puffy. And it was the song, or the remix, I don't know if it was the remix or the actual one, but Step Into a World, Rapture. But KRS-One from 86, bro. Criminal Minded. A classic freaking album. KRS-One was on some gangster shit. And if you go back and listen to them lyrics, like, KRS-One is 56, 57. Tupac would be 52 right now. So in 86, I was, let's say the 14. I was 14. Tupac got me by a year. So let's just say Tupac was either 15 or 14. KRS-One had like 6 years on that. KRS-One dropped his first album when he was like 2021 when he did Criminal Minded, bro. And then he did By Any Means Necessary. Then KRS-One switched it up from the gangster once his best friend, his producer, his the person that had put KRS-One in the shelter, DJ Scott LaRock, got murdered. Then KRS-One kind of changed his game plan. You know what I mean? But KRS-One, my God, bro. And then the next BDP album was The Blueprint. No, Edutainment. It was Edutainment. And then he came out with the Ghetto Blueprint of Hip Hop. And then that was the last BDP album. And then he came out with KRS-One, Return of the Boom Bap, which has Sound of the Police, I'm a Blunt Getting Smoked. And, you know, he had that shit on it. Then he came out with, what was the other KRS-One shit? Rappers Are in Danger. Or MCs Act Like They Don't Know. Like, man, bro. You know, and KRS-One is a battler and a freestyler. So only reason why I say that shit, because That would have been a great battle. That would have been something to see. And although Tupac said like KRS-One, Rakim, and all them, I mastered their styles, it would have just been fun to see, bro. It would have been fun to see. Because KRS-One would have welcomed that battle, man. Tradell in the building. I don't know exactly what KRS-One is right now, but I know every Sunday at 12 p.m. you can see him doing this the Temple of Hip Hop, and he's dropping jewels. Now you get KRS-One on stage. There's not too many people that can rock with KRS-One. You don't want to go on after him. You don't want to go on after him. You know what I mean? KRS-One got hits, and he doesn't. And he got what, 25 albums, bro. He still make albums to this day. And oh man, bro. Harold says, I got mad love for you straight from North Carolina. At one time, Pac lived just an hour from me in Santa Rosa, California. I salute. Degenerate, you should do a review for it. It ain't hard to find. Yeah, I might do one of that. Black Supernova says edutainment was classic. Bro, that was 1990, son. That was KRS-One was teaching. KRS-One was telling people to stop eating meat. Off that album, it was called Beef. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, KRS-One is my top 5. Yo, he's like my uncle. And I just say music-wise, I just don't disrespect my elders. I got to keep it real. But I did put Tupac. Tupac is my number 1. This is my top 5, bro. Tupac number 1, Rakim number 2, KRS-One number 3. I put Jay-Z at number 4 and Coogee Rap at number 5. You probably wondering why I put Jay-Z up there, because I done heard too many times, man. I done heard too many times by a lot of people, bro. And that Jay-Z don't write. You know what I mean? That's an incredible talent. We just talking skill set. We ain't talking about all the personal reasons that a lot of people don't like Jay-Z. We just talking about skills. That's like me talking about Michael Jordan. Like, yo, I can talk about Michael Jordan and just talk about his skills. But other than that, I don't know Michael Jordan's political stance, this, that, and the third. I heard he's an asshole. Probably is. Skill-wise, that dude is, everybody aspires to be like Michael Jordan. Not saying everybody aspires to be like Jay-Z. But in my opinion, Jay-Z is fucking nice to me, bro. Like, when Tupac and Biggie died, and they made a video about Jay-Z never really being the top MC. Like 50 Cent, there's a video out there, like the beef between 50 Cent and Jay-Z. And 50 Cent, you know, he was saying like, yo, my albums did 10 million back to back. I did and I only been out, what he said, 4 years or something, and I did Jay-Z's whole career and this, that, and the third and shit like that. So definitely 50 Cent made this shit a numbers game. He helped make this shit a numbers game. But Jay-Z also started that shit with the numbers though. But one thing Jay-Z made sure of, is to lyrically always put out some dope shit. Jay-Z ain't dropped the album since 2017, man. I stand 10 toes on that statement. What did you say, Kevin Robinson? Jamel Smith said, when I say that Tupac and KRS-One, Tupac delivery and flow and versatility is more appealing than KRS-One. Not saying that, not the GOAT KRS, but no, I agree with you. That's why I agree with you. Man. And if I could sit down and have a conversation with KRS-One, you know, I would love to sit down with him and talk to him. You know what I mean? But shit, KRS-One, I'm not going to play none of his stuff right now, but man, he got some shit that impressed the hell out of me, bro. For a 57-year-old dude, 57, 58, still in good health, still killing these stages. A lot of people was mad that KRS-One didn't show up to the 50 rap celebration. but KRS-One was like the only rapper that was like, yo, fuck the Grammys. And KRS-One was in New York City and Manhattan in the streets. He was in the streets performing for free. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't that many people there. A lot of people, it was in Harlem, matter of fact. Not Manhattan, it was in Harlem. And KRS-One was there. While everybody was doing the Grammys, KRS-One was like, fuck the Grammys. It's always been F the Grammys. But now he was like, but now everybody want to be on the Grammys. So it was like KRS-One took a stance not to be commercial. He could have chose the commercial route and got paid and did it. But he chose the integrity, as you can see nowadays, which a lot of people don't have. Gangstar, Coogee Rap. AXH said, if you dig deep, Nas wouldn't be Nas without AZ. Oh, elaborate on that, AXH. I don't even know if I'm saying your name. Is your name Ox? But he says, if you dig deep, Nas wouldn't be Nas without AZ. Kevin Robinson says, he's next to fall like Puffy. Beyonce is getting ready to get going. I just Googled the most popular rappers of all time. Jay-Z, Tupac, and Eminem, top 3. Levan says, I think Jay had a lot of banger singles, but not albums, unless you just like Jay. DMX had 2 #1 albums in 1 year. Yeah, you know, that's a fact. Reasonable Doubt was a banging album. And then In My Lifetime, Volume 1 was a banging ass album. Arguably one of my favorites albums. I know Reasonable Doubt is that shit, but I find myself listening to Jay-Z's second album more than any other Jay-Z's album. More than the Blueprint, more than the Black Album, more than the 444. Jay-Z's weakest album to me was Magna Carta. I did not like that album, bro. You're not fuck with me. You know I got it, but he still made sure he had some shit on it. But I wasn't a big fan of Magna Carta. Oh, and then American Gangster by Jay-Z. That motherfucker went crazy on that album, bro. Jay-Z went crazy on American Gangster, bro. The Rock Boys in the building tonight. Look at how I'm living. I'm feeling like he was killing that shit, bro. And if you know what I mean, like when Jay-Z says, what he says, the one that writes with no pen, just go off inspiration. You know what I mean? Like, what I really think that's true, bro. And that's why I got Jay-Z in my top 5. Yeah, he should have did his thing on that Renegade shit with Eminem. But I think Jay-Z had an ego. He was just looking at the marketing shit of it all and shit like that. But that hurt it. That hurted Jay-Z. That hurted Jay-Z. If Jay-Z would have really sat down there and analyzed and see what Eminem was doing and you know, and try to top that shit, it would be a different narrative for Eminem to this day. But I said that in a video in the past that it was Jay-Z's fault. It was Jay-Z's fault. And, you know, it was disappointing. As racist as this may sound, it was very disappointing. And Nas is the one to elaborate on that disappointment. When Nas said, and Eminem murdered you on your own shit, he wasn't just saying that shit to just be saying that shit. It was a reason why Nas said that shit, and Eminem murdered you on your own shit. It's like being at the ruckus and you balling and some white dude comes up. It's like White Men Can't Jump, and Woody Harrelson turned out to be one of the best motherfucking players playing with against all them black men. Him and Wesley Snipes. You know what I mean? And they was like, "Oh, that white boy got hype. Oh, that white boy's supposed to do it." It's like fucking Jim Carrey on Living Color. You wouldn't think, you know, Jim Carrey, in my opinion, is not funnier than Damon Wayans, but that motherfucker rose to the occasion. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think that Jim Carrey would rise to the occasion like that, but he did, and he became the most popular and successful out of all of them on Living Color. Don't get me wrong, the Wayans brothers is exceptional. They rich, they wealthy, whatever. They got their shit together, but Jim Carrey like became the fucking man of that shit, bro. And you know, Jay-Z, like when I'm almost forgetting my point, but it was just like when Nas said that shit, like, yo, and Eminem murdered you on your own shit, bro. That shit wasn't supposed to go down like that, fam. That shit wasn't supposed to go down like that. And ever since when Nas said that shit elevated Eminem. You know what I mean? That means Eminem, only thing he had to keep doing was just keep elevating in his bars, in his rhymes. Why? Because Eminem realized, he's a student of hip hop. Eminem realized that, yo, I just gotta just keep writing dope ass bars, dope ass flows and shit like that. And don't really talk about selling drugs. Don't talk about selling partying and shit like that. Just crack my jokes or whatever. Just brag about how dope of an MC that I am. While everybody else just keep making trap music. You know what I mean? While everybody else making drug dealer music. While everybody else making club songs and shit to get money. That nigga Eminem, I always said this shit. That motherfucking Eminem could be a billionaire right now if he wanted to. It's just that him being at top of the hip hop is just means more to him. And I'm not even a big Eminem fan. I'm just giving you, in the sport of hip hop, Eminem could be a billionaire right now. But if he dies, guarantee you his fucking catalog is going to be worth more than a lot of artists, man. Word up. Somebody says, Alex says, I like whole verse better than M's. It's subjective. I like, oh man. I did that shit I did that shit. I did a video already with that Renegade shit, man. And I was just like, it was the shit Eminem was saying when that nigga said the Latter-day Saints and the mind of the atheist. And I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker going in. It was going in. Like, it was beyond the street talk. It was beyond the street talk for me. Like, it was just fucking, oh man, bro. The only motherfucker that I think that would either give Eminem a run or whoop his ass is my nigga Kendrick Lamar, bro. Kendrick Lamar, man. Kendrick Lamar is a problem. Kendrick Lamar is a fucking problem. Straight up. Kendrick Lamar is a fucking problem, bro. M top 5 battle MC. Nas talks about how AZ inspired him. Look at what he's produced for him, plus their collab songs. But above all, AZ was one of the most underrated rappers during the 90s. Go listen to the format. What'd you say? Somebody said LL killed Jay-Z? Hang LL killed Jay-Z? Big L killed Jay-Z too? Were you talking about that one little song, that little freestyle they did? That was cool. Big L was nasty than a motherfucker, man. Math Hoffa, Disaster. Big L, Big Pun would go at him. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh man, that shit would have been crazy if Big L would have lived, man. Pac would battle him too. Pac was straight fearless. And yeah, and Pac probably would have battled, but Pac didn't battle. We seen that Pac, his battling came out of that shit came from some real serious shit. And that's just not a nigga, like, you know, it's not a nigga that you want to fuck with. He said Royce is better than M. I got to give Royce a try. I got to give Royce the 5'9" a chance because I ain't gonna front. Royce the 5'9" bores me. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. Like it's something that's not appealing about Royce. You know what I mean? Maybe he's not humbled, or I like Crooked Eye more than I like Royce. I like Joel Ortiz more than I like Royce. Like, real talk. Real Grand Time Battle Rappers has some of the most incredible lyrics ever in rap, period. If you haven't heard Disaster or Marvon or Thesaurus, you can't disagree with me. Disaster is definitely a dope battle rapper. Thesaurus and Marv 1. I might have heard one or two by Thesaurus. Obi was a monster. Eminem literally has admitted he lost to them. LaVance Jackson says, although it took for Big and Pac to die for Jay to really blow up, really big, No Limit, Cash Money, and Rough Riders were bigger than Rockefeller. Man, it's yeah, possibly, you know what I mean, possibly. But if we just basing on some skill shit though, man, like that's what I'm just basing this shit off on some skill shit. Jay-Z was dope. Zach said If I Die Tonight is one of the best. Big Pun was a problem. Thug Life says too many to name. Open Fire Pac's flow delivery was dope while actually spitting his life. Word up, man. So to great end this shit off, two of America's Most Wanted, bro. Going back to the subject matter. I didn't do this video the way I expected. But I think I just like two of America's Most Wanted more. I think I like the production, the quality of it. They did the song together. The way I'm quite sure Tupac did that shit so fast that Snoop Dogg had to elevate his writing to match Tupac's advanced writing. And that's what just makes Tupac just one of the greatest, man. Like the look how fast this dude wrote. Fresh out of prison, bro. Like that's uncanny, bro. It's unheard of. That's unheard of, bro. It's unheard of, bro. A rapper accused of rape goes to prison for rape, but before he goes to prison for rape, he gets shot up. He got shot in the head and groin and got shot 5 times. Then he goes to court in a wheelchair and they sentence this nigga to 1.5 to 4.5. And then he goes to prison and then people saying he got raped and his friends is turning their back on him. And then they release Who Shot You, like all this shit. Then he comes home. Like, who else went through that? Nobody. But Tupac, and then he gave you that shit in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. People have to, that's skills, man. That takes skills to go through all that shit and not necessarily be unbothered, but it seemed like he was unbothered and then just come home and just, come on, man. Ox says, sorry to keep saying it in the chat. I don't want to spam, but I'm have to know if you know AZ. Your hip hop knowledge goes far, so I'm curious if you know. Oh, you talking? Yeah, hell yeah, we know who AZ is, man. Do or Die, first album. My favorite song by AZ is Rather Unique. Give Me by the Eric Sermon. Is that the same one? So give me what you can't back. Yeah, I definitely know AZ. Do I have all his music? Nah, I don't. No, I don't. The shit that he did with The Firm was fire. My favorite song by him and Nas, it might be The Finest. Life's a Bitch, though. He probably had the greatest verse. If that's what you're saying, when you say that AZ made Nas look good or AZ did something, I would say AZ's verse is probably the best verse on Illmatic, man. That's hard to say because that's one verse. But the way AZ killed that shit, living life in the actualism, the life in actuality, fuck is the baddest, a person's status depends on salary. And my mentality is like, yo, he went crazy on that shit, bro. Rather Unique goes in, yeah, it's incredible. You know what I mean? AZ was so incredible that Eminem's first album, Infinity, sounds like AZ. Sounds like him, bro. He, definitely studied AZ, bro. Like, Eminem studied everybody, bro. He studied. That's what these people do. That's what they do. They study, they research, and it's just in their nature. It's just in their nature. That's why Nas was like, an Eminem murdered you on your own shit. You wasn't supposed to do that shit, bro. You wasn't supposed to do that, man. And then Eminem tried to do that shit to Kendrick Lamar with that whack-ass song they made. What was that song called? Love Train or some shit? That shit was hot garbage. The beat was corny. But Eminem, from what I understand, Eminem told Kendrick Lamar that his buddies got to leave the studio because he wanted to see if Eminem can write. You know what I mean? If Kendrick Lamar writes his own rhymes and shit like that. And man, you should have really, that shit was whack. That shit is whack. I don't even think they made another song after that, bro. Eminem know what he doing. he don't want to, you know, he don't want to get on another track with Kendrick Lamar. He don't. The only way Eminem will get on another track with Kendrick Lamar if Kendrick Lamar does a verse 16 or 32 bars or whatever, and Kendrick Lamar think he's the last person on the song, but then somebody decides to give this shit to Eminem on the low, and then Eminem comes on it and spits a longer verse and does some other shit and boom, blase, boom, without Kendrick knowing. That's the only way Eminem is getting back on the track with Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight facts, bro. That's the only way. So at this point in time, Kendrick Lamar is my nigga. I didn't really like that that last album he made recently, Mr. Damn, I forget the title. You know what I mean? But I definitely respected that Drake shot. Tupac can make an album less than a week. Ridiculous. That's a fact, man. Straight fact, bro. That's a straight fact. Jay says, I don't Eminem fears. Do you say, are you saying I don't think Eminem fears Kendrick Lamar? Now, I never heard of Michi Darko from Flatbush. But what's his name? Jay, that's what you saying? About to end us off right now, like 1 minute, man.
Oh shit. You done fucked up, man. You done put two of America's most wanted in the same motherfucking place at the same.
Oh, Jay says, I don't think Eminem fears Kendrick Lamar. I mean, that you have every right to think that. You have every right to think that. You have every right to think that shit, but I think he does. I think he does. You know what I mean? I think he does. Kendrick Lamar is a great MC, bro. He's a great MC. That nigga said, fuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me. Did you hear Benzino Tupac joint mix is crazy? Nah, hell no. Wait, I might have. You talk about that old joint when Tupac was rapping on it. Yeah. I think I went to go check it when Benzino said something about it. But yeah, man, I'm about to get out of here, man. I didn't do this video the way I wanted to, but I might return to it. Zachariah says, out of all the handwritten track lists Pac had for numerous albums, he would. Man, what happened to it? Oh, Zachariah, you retracted your shit. I wanted to read it. M ain't what he used to be back in 1999. M can get busy though. Eminem get busy though, man. Eminem definitely get busy though, man. You know what I mean? Like he did enough. His legacy is cemented. His legacy is cemented. You know what I mean? He's did enough. But if it wasn't for a brother like Kendrick Lamar, I'll probably be like, damn, Eminem is definitely one of them nasty ass MCs out there. And I know there's other people out there and shit like that, but Kendrick Lamar amazes me, man. People disagree, but I think his best work was Eminem's show and Encore. People especially disagree with Encore, but he went on some of those tracks. I never really heard all Eminem's albums. I just know about the songs that got videos. or the ones that I happen to see. But I one thing I don't know is shit like that. Yeah, Tradell, see you on the next one. Yeah, man. Let me shout y'all dudes out. Alex Pazmino in the building, Ox in the building, Zachariah Levance, LaQuasha, she done bounced. Jay Drix was in the building. Thug Life Eternal was in the building. Marcus was in the building. Natural Locks was in the building. Jay was in the building. Hang Time was in the building. Alex Lopez was in the building. DeMarcus was in the building. Kevin Robinson was in the building. We about to be up out of here, man.